most important person in my life wears a janitor's uniform. He is my dad, and I act like I do not know him. He comes to my school in that uniform every single day. The one with the bleach stain on the sleeve that never fully disappears. He waves at me with the same big smile he always wears. My friends are standing beside me, so I turn away and walk even faster. He never calls out to me, he simply lowers his hand and walks off. That evening he serves rice and beans once again. The same meal we eat 3 times a week because it is all we can afford. He places my plate in front of me, smiles, and tells me to eat. I glare at him and tell him I want pizza instead. For a moment he falls silent. Then he nods and heads back outside to get it. An hour later he returns with a single slice in a paper bag. He hands it to me while quietly counting coins. I can see the worry on his face, but I eat it anyway. He just sits there smiling at me. I do not even bother to say thank you. Lying in bed, I stare up at the ceiling. I hate everything about the life we live. I hate that there's a hole in the sole of my shoes, and that my phone is so outdated. My friends laugh whenever they see it, and more than anything I hate that no matter how hard my dad works, nothing ever seems to improve. One afternoon I am at the mall with my friends, looking at things I know I cannot afford. When I hear the sound of a mop dragging across the wet floor, I turn around and freeze instantly. My dad is kneeling on the ground, scrubbing the tiles in front of everyone. His uniform is soaked with soapy water and his hands are red. One of my friends nudges me and asks, "Is that your dad?" I tell him no. He looks up and our eyes meet. I notice the expression on his face change for just a moment. Something painful passes silently between us. The very next second he smiles and goes back to cleaning the floor. I walk away quickly without turning around. That night he comes home and places dinner on the table without saying anything. A week later my school puts on a play and invites all the parents. I tell my dad not to come. He simply nods and says nothing but while I'm on stage. I see him sitting among the other parents still wearing his janitor uniform. He is recording my performance with his old phone. When the play ends, all the other parents applaud from their seats. My dad stands up and claps louder than anyone else. In that moment, I feel ashamed of myself. Days go by and my dad starts looking tired and sick, until one day my dad never comes home. A neighbor knocks on my door and tells me he collapsed at work. I run to the hospital and find him lying in a bed, surrounded by tubes with his eyes closed. He is still wearing his work uniform. I can smell the bleach from the other side of the room. A nurse tells me that he has not been eating enough. That is when I realize he stopped eating so that I could eat. On the chair beside his hospital bed is a small notebook. I pick it up and see that every page is filled with memories he saved. The first time I called him dad, my birthday, the school play. One sentence stops me, "She deserves a better life." I will fight away, my hands begin to tremble. I sit beside him and hold his hand for the first time in years. When he opens his eyes and sees me, he says nothing, he simply smiles. The same warm smile I was always too embarrassed to return, but this time I smile back at him. Then I rest my head on his chest and cry. He gently places his hand on my head, softly and slowly, just like he always did. Have you ever taken someone you love for granted?